All right, welcome. So what I want to do here really briefly is to show um, what is required of you for differentiated activity number two. So the ultimate goal is to do a scamper activity. And okay, so scamper stands for substitute, combine, adapt, modify, put to another use, eliminate, or rearrange, um, or reverse something. And so the goal here really is so that you can think about the concepts of autonomic pharmacology from different angles. Now, so I ask that please you read chapters 14 and 15, and particularly pay attention to table 15.2 and 15.3. 15.2 describes where the autonomic receptors, the cholinergic ones, are located, the organs, and the effect. So it's important to know where the organ is and what receptor type is there. And 15.3 describes the adrenergic division of the autonomic nervous system. And so here you would, so for division activity, you're going to, in class we went over the material. I would also make the videos available for um, autonomic pharmacology. So you have ample opportunities to learn that. Remember, the goal of this differentiated activity is to help you learn better, to do better on your exams, but more importantly, to help you understand deeply. So, so what are you going to read to prepare you for this activity? You're going to pick one of, I'm going to click this article here. So there are several different articles that you can, in which some principle of autonomic pharmacology has been is applied. So first of all, click on this link here to elect which one of these you will um, read. You can decide to read it alone, read it with someone else, but here are the articles. Um, these are four different articles that use agents that work on the receptor types that we spoke about. So if you click on that, for example, let me click on that. That's that article. It's a case report of the first article, and it talks about cholinergic crisis caused by ingesting a topical capronium chloride solution. So how do you um, answer this? The first thing you want to know is what class of meds is capronium. It says here that it's a cholinesterase inhibitor. We have talked about that the enzyme acetylcholinesterase in class. We have seen, and then we've seen where that enzyme is located and how an inhibitor can influence certain receptor types. And so, what I want you now to do is to now look at the the symptoms that the patient presented with. So, ask yourself, okay, if this drug is an acetylcholinesterase inhibitor, how does it cause such a low blood pressure? Now link that to the receptor type and the organ or tissue type that explains that effect. How does it cause a respiratory rate of 40 beats per minute? Is that high? Is that normal? And so on and so forth. And that's it. So you can, have fun with it. It's a short paper. So that's one. This one is nerve agents. You can click on that and it will take you to the article. Again, if, for example, you happen to be interested in emergency medicine as a career, so again, look at it, look at the receptor types that are implicated, look at the organ, and try to see if you can make sense of the effects that are reported after exposure to these drugs. And if you're into sports, well, we will talk about some drugs that are used or abused in sports that these influence the autonomic nervous system. It doesn't really matter which of these you pick, but it will help you understand better. I also want to say that these two are videos. So if you feel like, I don't want to read a paper or something, or I want to read a popular source, you can also pick as you wish. So what are you going to do when you've picked one? Go to this Qualtrics survey and elect the one you want to read and go read it. And also elect if you want to work solo or work with someone else. So once you've done that, okay, next would be once you've picked your story, that's this, then in class, what we're going to do is this. So whichever drug you picked, okay, find how can you make it, what can you substitute? What other drug that we've learned about or you can research can substitute and do the same effect? Okay. What can you combine with this drug to enhance or reduce its effect? So again, think about the drugs that we've covered in class and explain why you can use it to either enhance or reduce. How can you adapt? And so these are the questions I will ask you to discuss in class with a pair. Finally, how can you reverse that effect? In this case, you can decide to think like a doctor, an MD, or think like a researcher. How can you reverse that? So again, um, and that's it for this differentiated activity. And at any point, if you do have questions, you're stuck, reach out and we can chat about your thoughts. You don't feel like you have to have the same answers with everyone. The key here is that you can understand and apply this information to an area that is of interest to you. Hopefully, one of these interests you, medical